Superstition versus spirituality. Our podcast today is on spirituality versus superstition. What is superstition? Superstition is false knowledge, false belief, irrational belief, belief in illusion that something can happen without a cause. That is superstition, irrational belief, false knowledge. What is spirituality? Spirituality is belief in the spirit as the causative factor, as the cause of all things, that everything in this world comes from the spirit, comes from ideas, comes from the mind, comes from the soul. That is spirituality. So spirituality is belief in the spirit as the causative factor. And you find that in John chapter 4 verse 24. In John 4:24, the Bible says God is a spirit, and those who serve him in truth and in spirit. In Genesis chapter 1, the Bible says the earth was dark and without form, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. So spirituality is superior to superstition. Superstition is a belief syndrome that you find with primitive people, primitive societies. Why civilized societies operate with spirituality? In spirituality, you find technology, you find empirical knowledge, because it comes from the mind, it comes from the spirit. It is not illogical, it's logical. Spirituality is logical. And spirituality is based on the law of karma. What you sow is what you reap, as described perfectly in Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 and 8. In John chapter 8 verse 32, the Bible says that you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You must know yourself. You must know your truths. You must know your strengths and weaknesses. That is spirituality. You must know your calling in life. You must know your talents and operate in your talents. You must love what you do and do what you love. You must know your weaknesses and manage them. That is spirituality. You must believe not in the dream that you dream in the night, but the dream you dream with your thought form, with your mind waves. That is spirituality. You must know technological truths. That's why the Europeans are doing better than the Africans, because they know technological truths and they operate it. They manufacture cars. That is truth. Scientific truths, technological truths, empirical truths. If your marriage must succeed, it's not by olive oil, it's not by coconut, it's not by doing spiritual work, but by knowing marital truths. As a wife, you must be guided by the truths of marriage. You must be loyal to your husband. You must be humble before your husband. As a husband, you must be kind to your wife. You must love your wife. This is marital truths. You must know relationship truths. If you want friends, then you must be friendly. If you want to experience kindness, you must be kind. These are truths that you must follow. As a matter of fact, Jesus came into this world to teach man truths that will set man free from poverty, from superstition, from darkness, from backwardness, and all of that. You see, superstition leads to backwardness because it is upward and downward. Why? Spirituality makes you onward, upward, and forward. Ladies and gentlemen, our society today is fueled by superstition. Nollywood promotes superstition. Most Pentecostal churches, most prophetic churches, and white garment churches are driven by superstition. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to be spiritual, not superstition. If Nigeria will move forward, Nigeria must be spiritual. We must be guided by brain power. We must be guided by the mind, not by superstitious belief. Superstitious belief will take you nowhere, but spirituality will take you to your desired destination, will give you the right outcome. When you are spiritual, you will get the right outcome. When you are spiritual, you will move forward. When you are spiritual, you can have breakthrough. When you are spiritual, you will operate truths. You will operate with empirical, scientific, and technological knowledge. But when you are superstitious, you want to think that doing rituals will make you rich. No. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, did not do any ritual. He did not do online prayers before becoming rich. And if you follow the footsteps of technological nations and technological peoples, I see you succeeding. Ladies and gentlemen, be spiritual, don't be superstitious.